Hi YouTube!
Hello.
It's the Yin
And I am the Yang
from wifeandwifeblog.com, and we're here to do a video about the whole donor selection process. Wow, it sounded weird when I just said donor. Okay, the whole donor selection process as far as what all we had to do and how we chose our donor.
Yep.
Okay, I thought she was going to have a little more to add about that. Okay, when we began to try to conceive, we had to, of course, find a donor. Some people, use a relative or a friend that they know. They feel more comfortable going that route with a known donor.
Which we had that option, but we felt that it was better if we use an anonymous donor.
Yes, because I don't know, like we just felt it would be a little more complicated, like legally, emotionally, and everything, to have a known donor, someone that would be there. And in our situation, like our group of friends and family, whatever, probably would try to see that person more as a dad instead of a donor, so issues could arise with that and legal issues as well. So we just didn't want to go that whole route, so we decided to go with a sperm bank that we really like.
Yep. They had a pretty good selection.
They did.
We didn't go off of race or anything. I know a lot of people, a lot of other African American couples that we know, they're more set on trying to find like a black donor, but that wasn't one of our criteria. We were open to all races or whatever, just as long as they had good medical history, that they're RH level, RH sign.
No, CMV status.
Yes, the CMV status
was negative because she's negative. So
yes,
and
like their medical history, their blood type.
Well, we didn't really care too much about blood type.
Just the RH level.
Yeah, the CMV status, the RH. The RH has to do with the blood
That's
type.
why I'm not good at this stuff.
It's the CMV status. CMV, they said it's more like kind of like a flu. The CMV is cytomegalovirus, I believe, and it's kind of like the flu. Most people have had it before, but if you haven't and then you contract it while you're pregnant, it can cause like a lot of issues for the baby and everything. So if you're using a donor from a bank, they recommend that you get tested to find out your status before you choose the donor, because if you're negative and then you pick a positive donor, that could actually bring in the virus, I guess, or whatever. And then if you end up getting the virus while you're pregnant, it can cause all kinds of complications. But so since she was negative, we had to pick a donor that also was negative so that we won't have to worry about that issue. Okay, now that we've gone on about that for a while, we decided to go with the bank. We didn't choose based solely on race, because a lot of people that we know, just wanted a black donor. They don't want to look at any other races. That limits you so much, especially considering there's maybe 2-3 black donors per bank, if that. So that really limits, especially when you're looking at other criteria as well. That just puts you in like this little box, and it's so hard to choose. So we picked based on, like she said, the CMV status, medical history. We made sure there are no major medical issues in the donor's history or his immediate family's history. The bank gives you a pretty good background, because I know some people are like, oh, well, we don't want to use the sperm bank because we don't know anything about the donor. But really, we know more. I feel we know more about the donor than, say, we would know about somebody you met in a bar or a club or whatever.
Yeah,
because yes, we have his blood type, his shoe size. Actually, we have his shoe size, his height, his birth date, his interests. We have his whole essay, he has an essay. We have his medical history, his parents' medical history, his grandparents,
his daddy, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, everything.
Basically, we have like a full background check on him minus his name.
Yeah. We want to make sure our donor is kind of tall, because I want our kid to be able to play basketball. So height was a big thing for me. So we want to make sure they're tall. not that, I mean, she's short, so.
Yeah, and that was kind of something we were worried about because since we're both carrying, I'm first and she's going next, but I'm like 5'3". So we wanted the possibility of the child being a little bit taller than 5'3", especially if it's a boy. So
yeah, and I'm 5'7", so I'm kind of on the short end too. So we really wanted a taller donor. Just shoot.
Yeah, she's really concerned about the whole basketball thing. Oh, and that's funny. Like the donor that we picked, he was really into baseball. So maybe the baby will be a baseball player.
Yeah.
Or a softball player. We'll see.
Softball, yeah. Play some kind of sport, please.
Oh, and that was another thing. Like the profile, it lists all the interests. So, and it actually had them do a personality test. So it showed what type of personality he has and what type of sports or arts or music or whatever the donor's interested in. So you get a pretty good idea of everything about the donor. So even though it's not someone that you know personally, you have quite a great deal of information about them.
Right.
So that was something we're comfortable with. We picked a donor with the open ID. Was it
open ID? Open ID or selection.
Yeah. Like the open selection, which I mean open whatever. The donor's open to meet the child when the child's 18. If the child wants to meet the donor's open for contact. That's what it is, open contact. Some of the donors don't have that feature. Actually, they charge more. They charge more for the donors with the open contact. Certain banks charge more for donors with higher level degrees, but most banks require the donor to have at least either a bachelor's or some college. I believe it's a bachelor's. So the donors are educated. I mean, they have college degrees. You have all their information. What else? They test the donors for like major diseases or genetic issues as well.
And some of the donors, they have a audio interview with them, so you can actually hear the donor's voice. Our donor didn't for some reason, but you can actually hear their voice and hear their responses to questions, which I thought was really neat. I liked a couple of donors that were on our list before we narrowed it down that had audio ID, and they sounded really educated, and they asked them why they wanted to do it, and the answer to that impressed me. So you can hear that. They have like pictures galore. Some of them charge for pictures, right?
Yes, some
they charge for pictures, but like you can get baby pictures, teen pictures, adult pictures, everything like that. So that's a good resource as well.
Yes, and the bank we went with, actually instead of paying you could pay per picture, which is what a lot of banks do, but ours, they had a package where you could pay for, I think like $100 and something for unlimited access to all the profiles in their entire bank for 3 months. I believe, for 3 months. And then, so we were able to see every single donor that they had and every single picture that each of the donors had. And so the donor we selected, we have like 12 pictures of him, all the way from baby pictures up until his adult current day photo. So the child will have lots of pictures of him. They'll have the essay, they'll have the profile that we saved as well. So they'll have a lot of information about him, as much as we can share with them, and
before they turn 18.
And then when they're older, if they want to try to contact him, we'll see how that goes at that time. So basically our reason for choosing a anonymous donor from a sperm bank was just to avoid any issues or conflicts that would come up later with using someone that we actually knew, avoiding having family members refer to the donor as the dad, which they still do even now that we're using a donor. They're like, oh, so what does the dad look like? Do you know anything about the dad? And we're like, it's not the dad, it's the donor. So considering we used a sperm donor from a bank and have that issue, it would be even worse if it was somebody that they actually knew.
Yeah. Absolutely. And they also have like little communities, like each of your donors, or each of the donors has a assigned number. You can look online, and even on Facebook they have like even the sperm bank will have a group, and you can go in there and search for your donor number. You can see like other couples that have used that same donor and see their offspring and what they look like, and ask them questions. And there's a whole community for donor families, is what they call them, where you can talk and chat with people that use the same donor as you and talk to about their kids and stuff like that. So you definitely a way to connect with other people that have the same donor as you.
So those are our reasons for choosing the sperm bank route. I mean, a lot of other people may decide this isn't the way to go for them, and that's fine. That whatever works for you and your partner, or for you. But for us, this is what we decided to do, and we're happy with our decision so far. And
yeah,
that's about it. We just wanted to discuss the whole sperm bank thing, because a lot of people are like, well, how do you know if you wanted to go with a sperm bank, or you didn't have a friend that you could use, or whatever. So there's our explanation, our reasoning behind it, and I hope it maybe could help someone if you're trying to decide on which way to go with that and everything. So until next time, I'm Yin.
And I'm Yang. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us up. wifeandwifeblog.com. We have an email, wifeandwifeblog@hotmail.com.
Yeah.
And
we're also setting up a Facebook page, but that should be up probably within the next week or so. So until next time, talk to you later.
Take care.
Bye.